The Grammys are tonight, and I just want to make my case for Taylor Swift's The Torture Poets Department for Album of the Year. Now, before some of you get upset and tell me I'm wrong, I just want to say that the Grammys are not an objective assessment of which artist has the quote-unquote best music. In fact, I personally don't really believe in the idea of there being a best in music. Music is so subjective. For every person that likes an artist or song, there's someone else who absolutely cannot understand the hype. And I think it's also kind of silly to compare artists and music from different genres. So for me, I try to think of best in the sense of how an artist measures up against themselves. Are they performing at their highest potential? How are they pushing the boundaries of their creativity? How are they growing in their artistry? And how are people connecting with their music? From this perspective, I think many of the nominees this year have had an Album of the Year. With that said, I'm here to make the case for Taylor Swift. So here are 3 reasons why I believe the Torture Poets Department deserves Album of the Year, which is the award given for the best overall achievement by an album's songwriters, performers, producers, and mixers and engineers. Reason number 1, this album is Taylor's best work yet as a songwriter. The songwriting on this album is a testament to her mastery over her craft. It showcases her as a skillful lyricist and as an incredible storyteller who is both imaginative and introspective. Reason number 2, Aaron Dessner and Jack Antonoff have proven themselves to be very discerning producers. I've said this before, if Jack Antonoff wanted to make pop bangers like Cruel Summer, he could. But he's shown that he's very good at serving the artist and the song, meaning that he makes decisive production choices that support Taylor's songwriting as well as her voice. Compared to pop music in general, where the tendency is to make the production big and loud and full of sound, the arrangement and production on the Torture Poets Department is pretty pared down. I think that was very well and wisely done, because what it did was that it highlighted Taylor's strength as a singer-songwriter at her core, and it allowed her lyricism and her storytelling to take center stage. And finally, reason number 3. Everything that I just talked about was made possible with the album's mixers and engineers. I especially love the vocal engineering on Taylor's voice. The sound quality of her voice feels clear and pure. It makes it seem like she's right in front of you. Again, bringing out that singer-songwriter quality that she's so good at. And there's an airy breathiness that enhances the sense of intimacy and vulnerability in the songs. Now, the Torture Poets Department has its critics, and I can see there being 2 reasons why it wouldn't win Album of the Year. One has to do with Taylor's vocal performance, which is pretty understated, and the other has to do with the album's overall sound and presentation, which some have criticized as being monotonous, lyrically dense, and self-indulgent. To me, both of these criticisms point to the fact that I think there can be a misunderstanding about the creative intention behind the Torture Poets Department. I believe there's a reason Taylor built an entire album around the idea of a Torture Poets Department and named herself its chairman. The stereotype of a torture poet or an artist is someone who has fully given in to their pain and anguish as they express themselves through their art. So if Taylor seems self-indulgent in her songwriting, whether you think she's oversharing or being too emotional or overlooking the listening experience of her audience, it's because that's kind of the point. Because the primary purpose for the Torture Poets Department is not for Taylor to entertain, but rather for Taylor to express.